Hi, my name is Abigail House, and I'm going to be presenting on the ancient art of connecting with your inner self. On this slide, I've added three different pictures. One of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who founded Maharishi's International University, as well as consciousness-based learning. I've added a photo of two hands representing a self-pulse reading, and then a picture with several different whole foods representing the organic whole food diet of Ayurveda, as well as the six tastes that are included in each meal in Ayurvedic cooking. Introduction. Everything is everything. We are made up of elements and particles that are governed by inner intelligences that keep our mind-body processes running. We are a product of nature, and we are made up of the five elements: space, fire, water, air, and earth. Every bit of what we are made of is expressed through nature and by the journey that we take in life. When we connect with a deeper level of our own self, then we experience the greatest quality of life. Maharishi Ayurveda can help us to create a balanced life and achieve optimal health. Overview. In this presentation, I will present information regarding self-pulse reading and pulse diagnosis technique, how to perform self-pulse reading at the surface, deep, and subdosha levels, inner intelligences that govern functions of our bodies and their elements, functions, and gunas or qualities, and how the inner intelligences can help determine balances and imbalances through the pulse. Introduction to self-pulse reading. This is a quote from our week 1 reading in the self-pulse reading class at Maharishi's International University. It says, Ayurvedic pulse diagnosis is one of the tools used in Ayurveda to assess the level of balance and imbalance in human physiology by reading the condition of the inner intelligences of the body in terms of the three doshas. On this slide, I have a link to a YouTube video with a demonstration on how to do self-pulse reading at the surface, deep, and subdosha levels. An ancient Ayurvedic technique. Self-pulse reading is an ancient technique that helps us to connect with a deeper level of consciousness and with our inner self. Self-pulse reading is a self-healing and disease-preventing way of practicing medicine that was gifted from ancient Ayurvedic texts. Maharishi Ayurveda is a slightly different approach to practicing Ayurveda that incorporates twice daily transcendental meditation practice with dynamic activity to create balance. The main benefits of self-pulse reading are to detect imbalances, to detect the cause of imbalance, to maintain health and restore balance to the mind-body system, to enliven the power of our intention. It is a healing technique, and it promotes balance and health. Benefits continued. Self-pulse reading enlivens our inner intelligence. It helps to connect with our inner self. Expressions of balanced pulse are through vata enthusiasm, expiration, inhalation, movement, balanced dhatu development, which is tissue development, and balanced release of malas or impurities. In pitta, sight, digestion or metabolism, normal temperature, thirst, hunger, luster, and cheerfulness. And in kapha, unctuousness or oiliness, binding, heaviness, potency or strength, forbearance, restraint and patience, and absence of greed. Introduction to doshas. The doshas are creative intelligences that govern over the functions of our mind-body systems. The doshas are three: vata, pitta, and kapha. Though spread throughout the entire mind-body system, the doshas are found to be more concentrated in certain areas in correlation with their main functions. When in balance, there are many health benefits to having balanced doshas, including health, vitality, and higher levels of consciousness. The doshas are made of the elements. Vata is made of air and space, Pitta is made of fire and water, and Kapha is made of earth and water. The dosha's governing duties. Vata governs all transportation, movement, and communication. Pitta governs all transformation, digestion, and metabolism. Kapha governs all structure, cohesion, and lubrication. Some fun facts are that when doshas are in balance, they maintain the health of the mind-body system. When imbalanced, the doshas create disease and natural body processes are inhibited from functioning correctly. Qualities of each dosha. For Kapha, heavy, coldness, soft, unctuous or oiliness, sweet, stable or steady, sticky or viscous. For Pitta, slightly oily, hot or warm, sharp, liquid, sour, moving or flowing, and pungent. For Vata, dry, brittle, cold, subtle, moving, and clear. Subdivisions or subdoshas. Each dosha has 5 subdoshas or subcategories that can be detected in quarters on the tip of the finger during pulse reading. Subdoshas help us to pinpoint certain imbalances in the doshas. For Kapha, there's Kladaka, Avalambaka, Bodhaka, Tarpaka, and Shleshaka. For Pitta, there's Pachak, Ranjak, Sadhak, Alochak, and Burjak. For Vata, there's Prana, Udana, Samana, Apana, and Vyana. Take note that in this chart, it also lists the places in which the subdoshas are. Doshas in relation to the pulse. It is important to memorize the gunas or qualities of the doshas so that we can correlate what we feel in the pulse with the specific gunas of the different doshas. The index finger reads Vata dosha, the middle finger reads Pitta dosha, and the ring finger reads Kapha dosha. There are 3 levels in the pulse: the surface or superficial level, the subdosha level, and the deep level. We can connect the gunas in the pulse with what we feel in the different layers of the pulse and under which fingers we feel certain gunas. Putting it all together. When we eat unhealthy foods and neglect to exercise regularly, we develop dysfunction of our mind-body system. One dosha can move to another dosha's main home area if there is an ongoing imbalance due to neglect of the body. With proper diet and exercise, we can create balance and achieve the creation of ojas, which is the product of perfect digestion. And if we integrate twice daily transcendental meditation practice with a proper diet and exercise routine, according to our prakriti, or the state of our being, we can achieve optimal health and create the best quality of life. By practicing the ancient technique of pulse diagnosis, we can determine our state of health or prakriti, and the gunas help us to determine the location of imbalance based on their location on our fingers. Pulse diagnosis takes years to learn. However, with consistent practice, our skills are refined. It is best to practice self-pulse diagnosis at least 30 times a day to begin with when you're learning how to read the pulse. Conclusion. Everything is everything. We are made up of elements and particles that consist of mind-body systems that rely on governing intelligences. When we practice self-pulse reading, we can connect with our inner self. Self with the capital S, meaning ourself in developed states of higher consciousness. We have discussed information regarding what self-pulse reading is and pulse diagnosis is, and how to record results of pulse diagnosis, the inner intelligence that govern the functions of our bodies and their elements, functions, and what their gunas or qualities are, and how the inner intelligences help us to determine balances and imbalances through our pulse.